column. It's two corners right in the corner showing dancing girls on one side, animals on the other. And here's what's in the center of that 10-foot column into prom that was dedicated over 820 years ago. They were seeing dinosaurs and depicted them very, very accurately. This is just, I think, more proof of the co-occurrence of humans and dinosaurs. Now, let's move to the significance of this. Notice a statement by Louis Jacobs of SMU. He's very much an anti-creationist, president of the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology. And he's commenting on some things he's heard, though I don't think he's really seen the evidence, in his book, Quest for the African Dinosaur, and refers to this claim of the co-occurrence of men and dinosaurs. Such an association would dispel an Earth with vast antiquity. The entire history of creation, including the day of rest, could be accommodated in the 7 biblical days of the Genesis myth. Evolution would be vanquished. Now, this is his assessment, and I think he's absolutely right. If you demonstrate the co-occurrence, this is what it means, and the evolutionist understands that. Now, I don't know why we're afraid to jump on this kind of evidence, because they have said, all right, this is what you need to show us. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be honest enough to accept it, but there are an awful lot of people that will and do. Looking back at the statement we referred to earlier by Stephen Stanley of Johns Hopkins, he says in the beginning of that quote, there's an infinite variety of ways in which since 1859, when The Origin of Species was published, the general concept of evolution might have been demolished. Now, that's his term. Consider the fossil record, a little-known resource in Darwin's day. The unequivocal discovery of a fossil population of horses in Precambrian rocks would disprove evolution. More generally, any topsy-turvy sequence of fossils would force us to rethink our theory, yet not a single one has come to light. And, of course, won't as long as he won't come look. We've invited him down. He refuses. We did have a professor from University of Houston come down, got within about 50 yards of the tracks there at the Paluxy and looked out and said, I don't see any tracks, and turned around and left. And then we said, Dr. Schaefersman, come on down, we'll show you. Now, I've been here, I didn't see any human tracks, and he left. And so he tells his students he was there, and he didn't see any. And Stephen Stanley's been invited. Not a single one has come to light, and won't as long as he doesn't look. As Darwin recognized, a single geographic inconsistency would have nearly the same power of destruction. Now again, these are the terms that they're using. Just one, he says, would be enough to rip it. Because you could not, if it's down, it's supposed to be up. That's the real test. And we've shown all kinds of inconsistencies in the geologic column. From the Malachite man, the fossil footprints from 3 places in Texas, New Mexico, Turkmenistan, dinosaur petroglyphs from Mexico and Peru and Cambodia. If you're really honest, I mean, how much would more make any difference? There's just a big pile of it, and according to the evolutionists themselves, this would demolish. This would have the same power of destruction. This is their analysis. This would disprove evolution. Or as Jacob says, it would be vanquished. Well, I agree with all of them. I think, and you'll just have to decide for yourself, have we demonstrated the co-occurrence? If we have, that is the implication. We want to conclude with the statement made by NOVA, who sent people down there. They had 2 weeks of investigation and filming. The people there were excited. They felt like they had really earth-shaking evidence, and went back, and the editor killed it. They did do a short blurb called God, Darwin, and the Dinosaurs, in which they said there is nothing at Glen Rose that looks anything like a human footprint. Now, that's exactly what they said. But then went on to discuss it, and I think we can understand why. referring to dinosaur footprints side by side with humans, which was claimed, they deny. Finding them would counter evidence that humans evolved long after the dinosaurs became extinct and back up the claim that all species, including man, were created at one time. They said this is what it would mean, and we're not going to do that. And I think I know why. It's not science. It's about philosophy. It's about religion. And it's just bad science in order to defend their religion. But that's the implication. And they're right. That's exactly what that means. And if you think that we've proved our case, then that's the implication of it. All right. Let's see if some of you have some questions. Yes, sir.
It seems like you're inviting a lot of universities, and you don't seem to make friends there. Why is it that they invite you?
Well, usually they don't, but the creation clubs on campus have the right to use the auditorium, and they usually have to go through a lot of excuses and book it 6 months ahead, but they can, and there I am, and there's not anything they can do about it. Though sometimes I'm invited. At Texas A&M, I mentioned earlier, I was invited by the physics department, and we addressed the professors and the grad students. And when it was finished, it was about a 40-minute presentation of what you've seen tonight. So most of what you've seen summarized. The head of the department got up and he said, well, Dr. Patton, I find that absolutely compelling and unanswerable. And I just have to accept that. And he turned around and sat down. And we had lots of questions, but not one negative note sounded that day. So it's not always negative. That was just it shocked the daylights out of me because I was used to more, aliens or, somebody carved toes on it or something. Falling